bring another box, and then 2 minutes after, bring another one.
Until one of us passes the fuck out.
Excellent.
No, that's not quite what I said, but I guess I should have said that. What I did say was like... All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is another video where I'm going to tell you 2 stories and see what you think. I've spoken with a couple of my friends and they said, you got to share it. All right, here it goes. And I'm using this old school mic because it's just easier for me to move around and you can hear me better, and I don't want to close the window because it's hot in Toronto for once in November. So, you know when you go to a networking event here in Toronto, there's a ton of them, and they ask you, share one interesting fact about yourself. So the go-to fact that I like to say is, I have returned 16 iPhones in the last 2 years. And there's this uncomfortable silence. It just lingers a tiny bit longer than normal. And people are like assessing. They're like, is he serious? Or is it some kind of a joke? Like, what's going on? Like, really? And it is true because, you know, like, I happen to return quite a lot of products. That's what I do. My eyes are like an X-ray. I just find imperfections and they surface up instantly. And there's one time I went to Apple stores legitimately trying to buy an iPhone. It was, I think, the iPhone 6S. If I remember correctly, it was downtown afternoon on the weekend. So like a ton of people walked in and asked the guy bring up the phone. He brings up the phone. I turn it on and instantly I could see the screen is already defective. Like what? Like the top of the screen is dark and the bottom was just like a little bit brighter. And I could see, like the moment I see it, this is it. And what really bothers me is when I show it to the guy and he's like pretending not to see it. He's like, oh, it's your problem. No, he's like, I don't see anything. I get bothered with that kind of stuff. I'm like, you know what? Bring me the second box. He brings out the second one and it's the same thing. And I'm telling him, look, bring another box, and then 2 minutes after, bring another one.
Until one of us passes the fuck out.
Excellent.
No, that's not quite what I said, but I guess I should have said that. What I did say was like, hey, bring another box and another box. And so he brought 6 boxes in a row and I'm turning them on. They're all the same problem. And he keeps printing the receipts in the meantime while the boxes are coming. He prints the receipt for the purchase and one for the refund. So there's this pile of receipts, 12 receipts on the desk. And they were like, because I've been there for like an hour, maybe longer, while I was turning those phones on, and there were like 6-7 people at the back, like after me. There's the line. They're like, what the hell is going on? What kind of unboxing this guy's doing? So, I mean, I ended up not buying the phone. I asked the guy for the 7th. Didn't stop with the 6th. I'm like, hey, can I get a 7th phone? I'm like, I'm ready to keep going. I'm conditioned because I've been in Ukraine. And he said, no, I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, I'm not able to bring another phone. We still need to sell. We still need to keep some stock for other customers. So I didn't get it. But you got to understand, listen, in Ukraine, it's really tough. Like the moment buying and returning, it's very different, especially returning. Because the moment money exchange hands in Ukraine, you're screwed, period. Like you can't return. Like, because it says that in theory you can 2 weeks after the purchase, but it has to be unopened, which means that the moment you open the box or you turn something on, it's over. And people know it. They're like, oh, look, we got this sucker. You turn it on. That is it. That is it. And one of the examples what ended up happening to me, I had this crazy idea. When I was in the university, I wanted to buy this $6,000 Leica camera and a lens. Saw it in the store. It was like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. Ended up buying, and defective camera and defective lens. Now what I'm gonna do? I unboxed it and I called the director, of course. He's like, no problem, we're gonna fix it. Sent the camera and the lens back into Germany. They fixed the lens, didn't fix the camera. Camera comes back, it's defective. I'm like, I'm gonna return this piece of shit. I don't want it anymore. And you know, negotiation never started in Ukraine. when you just talk normally like a normal person, you have to yell like high volume, high pitch. That's only then when people will take you seriously. I'm gonna get my fucking money, you piece of shit. And you know what happens when you say that? They're like, oh, I'm so sorry. My name is George. I understand you now. I'm so sorry. Now we can talk. Let's negotiate. That is exactly what happens. And he's like, absolutely, I understand. Listen, I can't give you the money now, but we have to take the camera and the lens back into the store and wait until some other sucker buys it. I'm like, well, I mean, there's no other options. I got to get my 6K back. We agreed on that. 1.5 months went by, and I thought it's over. But they ended up finding a loser who bought it. I'm like, that was good. That was a good day. I'm like, great. I got the call. They got the money. And the money is always in cash because especially with these amounts in Ukraine, it's like Italy. Like you don't have, like nothing's on the card. It's always cash. You got to count. You always got to have like a machine counter with you because it's not in USD. It's in the local currency. So you have the ton of bills that you have to go through. So I come into the office, count the money, $600 short. I'm like, where's my $600? Turns out it's the store's manager commission who sold the camera. He just took the money. And then after another round of, I'm gonna fucking kill you, piece of shit, you fucking bitch, they have returned the full amount. So it was 2 months after I've asked for the refund. 2 months after. And so I did that multiple times in Ukraine. So you can imagine coming here to Canada. Canada is a la-la land. You can buy and return anything at any point in time. In fact, I was buying an iPhone 12 and this lovely lady said, oh, you can return it. You have 50 days. Like 50 days. In 50 days, you can spend 1.5 months in the African safari taking pictures, taking 4K video, fly back to Toronto, and return the phone back into the store. Thank you guys for watching. Share your thoughts, like, comment, subscribe, all those things. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.